Hi, hello, Vinny and Dragon here, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a bit more of a short, easier video as we get ready for the next week's draft battle. I've already begun my preps, so that's going to be fun. But I wanted to go through every single one of my playthrough teams. Now, I have a bit of ground rules here. I only put games that I legally purchased and played. No emulator games, no games I played for the first time as an adult. I wanted to keep this more like, authentic, so only blind playthroughs. So let's just get into the video. Now, the first game I have on here is actually a bit of a surprise. For those of you who don't know, I am a child. Not actually, I'm 20 years old. But because I am 20 years old, I didn't play Gen 1 or Gen 3 or anything like that. My first game was actually Pokemon Platinum. However, I didn't actually finish Pokemon Platinum. I don't even think I got past the second gym. However, I also didn't finish Pokemon Black. I believe I got farther in that game, but I didn't finish it as a kid. I only finished it as an adult. Platinum 2. Which means my actual first team was for Pokemon Black and White 2, and I will read it out for you now. My team was Emboar, Superior, Druddigon, Lucario, Sock, and Throw. Now, as a kid, I definitely loved fighting types. I say the sentiment's still a little true. I'm a big fighting fan. I definitely feel like as I've grown up, I've gotten more attached to like Ice type and Psychic type. But fighting was just really, really cool for me back in the day. I liked all the fighting type trainers. I liked all the fighting type Pokemon. I remember in the anime, all the fighting type Pokemon were super cool. Sock and Throw specifically, that sort of arc in the anime, that one tournament arc, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but that was really, really cool to me as a kid who grew up watching a lot of shonen anime, so there you go. Now, obviously, if we're looking at this team from like an actual standpoint, 5 Pokemon are weak to flying, so I can't really say that this team is all too good competitively. But, I mean, it was my first team I ever beat the Hall of Fame with. It has some underrated Pokemon here. I still actually kind of still like Sock and Throw. I think they're cool. Druddigon is a very underrated Pokemon. He's not my favorite Dragon type in Gen 5, though, anymore. And this started my love for Lucario, which goes into Pokemon Y, but you'll see that soon. Now, next up, I have Pokemon Y. I unfortunately lost my Pokemon Y cartridge. However, I remember 5 of these team members very vividly, and I think that this is the last one. Off the bat, we have the 3 Pokemon that were on every kid's team, Greninja, Mega Charizard X, and Lucario. I can't really say anything about this. I mean, I was a very basic kid. I liked Charizard as a kid. I don't like him now, but I liked Charizard as a kid. I still love Mega Lucario to this day. He's one of my favorites of all time. And Greninja was just the coolest water starter. Honestly, I still don't really like all the Kalos starters that much. I always pick Greninja. And then next I have Meowstic. I'm actually a very big Meowstic fan. I just thought Meowstic was like the cutest Pokemon ever when I first saw it. And I'm just like, yes, I want that. Then next I have Yveltal. It was just, I picked legendaries for my teams all the time. So Yveltal just got slapped on. You'll see it soon enough, but that's actually started my trend of just picking the legendary they give you. And then the last Pokemon is Survivor. I don't know why I was such a Survivor fan as a kid, but I do vividly remember using him. I don't know if he made my final Elite Four winning team, but I did have a Survivor. Next up, we have Pokemon Omega Ruby, and this is an interesting one. We have Electrode, Mega Latios, Mega Blaziken, Mightyena, Groudon, and Gyarados. So off the bat, yes, I am a Groudon fan. When I played Omega Ruby, I was like, oh, Groudon, cool. I don't know why Mightyena's on this team. I don't know why Electrode is on this team. But Latios, Blaziken, and Gyarados are just really cool Megas that I, as a kid, was just like, oh, slap them on, slap all the Megas on. And then, obviously, Primal Groudon. But it's so weird that I had Mightyena on my team, considering that Pokemon is just a nothing Pokemon. And then Electrode, whatever. I mean, I guess I just really, really liked Electrode. I don't know. I will say, though, God, Gen 3 was so bad. I had, like, all the Gen 3 legendaries on my team that I could get. And I had Blaziken. And I had Mightyena. And then 2 Gen 1 Pokemon. And I don't like Mightyena anymore, so clearly my sentiment about Gen 3 as a child was the same. Now, next up we have Pokemon Sun. I actually didn't finish Pokemon Ultra Sun as a child. I don't think it was just because it was too hard, it was just because I kind of got tired of like remakes and stuff. I felt like I was just playing the same game, which for most of the early game you actually kind of are. But I did finish Pokemon Sun, where I had Primarina and Incineroar. I actually picked Primarina. Incineroar came from Wonder Trade, like I said earlier. Boldore, because I didn't have friends. Zygarde 10%, Solgaleo, and Araquanid. One of the first gens where I actually used the majority of Pokemon from that generation. If I didn't have Boldore, I actually would have had a full Gen 7 team. But I do actually like this team a lot. Obviously, Solgaleo is big box art legendary, and I actually don't even really like Solgaleo that much. But overall, I think this team's pretty cool. It's got some aura, and by that I mean I got to use Primarina on it. Next up, I actually don't have my cartridge for Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I looked everywhere, I checked my files on my Switch, I just have no way to play Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I don't know what happened. I don't have any memory of that team other than I had Eevee and Mewtwo. I can't really tell you, man. I promise. I really tried. I loved that game. I'm a big Let's Go Eevee defender, but I think I lost the cartridge around a year ago, and I can't play it. So unfortunately, our next game is Pokemon Shield. I actually did buy Shield, despite my love for Zacian, my love for Clara. I played Shield. And my team for Pokemon Shield was the following. I had Espeon, Hitmonchan, Ice-Cube, Unfezant, Rillaboom, and Gigalith. Yes, I finally redeemed myself for the Boldore I never got to evolve, because now I finally had Gigalith. Now, I pretty much picked Rillaboom just for sure. Nowadays, I probably would pick Cinderace. I just really liked Grookey, and I still love Grookey to this day. Espeon was a bit weird for me, but after using it in this playthrough, I kind of fell in love with it. Same with Unfezant. I really love Unfezant. I am a big Unfezant defender. I think he was really cool in like the anime and stuff. Gigalith is just awesome. Gigalith is so cool. And then Ice-Cube is not actually like my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. Honestly, nowadays I have so many favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. But Ice-Cube's just really cool. I like him a lot. Next up, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm very excited for Pokemon Legends ZA because Pokemon Legends Arceus came out when I was kind of maturing, and so I used a bit of a more well-rounded team, I say, as I look at it and realize I have like 2 Steel types and like 3 Ground types, but that's fine. My team was Hisuian Typhlosion, Gastrodon, Hisuian Lilligant, Rhyperior, Gudra Hisui, and Steelix, and both Steelix and Rhyperior were alphas. Alphas were a really cool mechanic introduced in Pokemon Legends Arceus. I really hope they kind of stick around because they were actually really fun to see the visual difference between Pokemon. I had my Alpha Steelix that was like the size of the box art legendaries. It was really cool. Overall, no real notes on this team. I like all the Pokemon here a lot. I think getting to use Rhyperior for once is awesome because Rhyperior sucks in every type of opportunity that isn't a playthrough. Overall, no notes. All these Pokemon are cool. And next up, finally, we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. My team was Meowscarada, Shiny Iron Bundle, which was full odds by the way, Tinkaton, Garchomp, Dragapult, and Talonflame. I just really love all this Pokemon. I was actually a big Tinkaton guy when I first played. I've kind of fallen off on Tinkaton. I still think they're really cool, but overall, I feel like the whole like cute girl with the giant hammer kind of fell off for me. Maybe when I play another Fire Emblem game, it'll pick back up.
You're making me work!
But overall, I really like this team. This was actually the first time I used Talonflame, because if you were paying attention, I didn't use it in my Pokemon Y playthrough. So I used it for the first time in Scarlet and Violet. Also, this was the first time I used Garchomp and Dragapult. Overall, I love those guys. They're two of my favorite pseudo-legendaries. And then Meowscarada was the starter I picked. I actually probably, now that I think about it, I probably would pick the Fuecoco line and the Skeledirge. I just think they're really cool. Although, I think that every Paldea starter is awesome. And I wish I did what I did as a kid and just used 2 of them. That's going to be the end of this video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to comment if you have any of your own fun playthrough teams or Pokemon you used on them, like Electrode. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I've got tons of cool stuff coming out, so make sure to subscribe to tune in. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out.